If you're having trouble identifying which shoes you should be buying and which ones you shouldn't, this video is for you. So this here is my profitable shoe checklist. I had this linked below this video so you guys can have access to it whenever you want it. And it's going to be really useful, specifically when you're sourcing in store, to be able to look up shoes and know whether it's quick or slow moving. So if I were you, I would take your phone out and take a screenshot of this section right here because it covers the difference between fast, average, slow, and really slow moving shoes. Covering the highlights first, this will give you kind of a rundown of what you should be looking for and versus what shoes you shouldn't be looking for. Keep in mind, every shoe is subjective. So you do need to kind of look up every single shoe, whether it's on StockX, Go to eBay, you do need to look it up in order to find the numbers to kind of identify whether it is fast or slow moving. Also, another quick thing, previous success does not indicate future success. They talk about that all the time in the financial world. What that means is if a shoe sold 100 times yesterday, that doesn't mean it's going to sell even one time today. However, you can take that information and pretty much say, yeah, well, I assume it's going to sell that much today, right? I assume there's going to be so and so many sales. Okay. So just because there was past sales doesn't mean that that shoe's going to continue to sell that same way in the future, but the likelihood is yes, it will. All right, so let's dive right into it. Kind of first thing starting off, I had the sales speed here, which is fast, average, really slow, slow. Sales per month with each one of those shoes. Should you buy it in bulk? It's kind of a yes or no question, and then also extra notes with it. All right. So starting off with the fast shoes, I reckon a fast moving shoe is a shoe that's selling 10 times plus per month per size. So let me restate that. Every shoe and everything I have covered on here is per size. So just because a shoe might sell 10 times per month in the entire size run, I'm talking just size. So just size 11, just size 12. All right. And if a shoe is fast moving, you should buy as many as you can in bulk. And you shouldn't really have a limit on how many you can buy because you're going to make so much money on it, right? Here I say minimum you want to make 10 to 20% ROI. But really, since it's such fast moving, if it's going to sell in a day or two, you could really get away with buying however many you want because your money's going to turn around anyways. So these Travis Scott golf shoes just came out a few days ago, and I'll show you what a fast moving shoe is. This is a fast moving shoe. The shoe's selling very, very, very fast, even though it's super expensive. And you can just see the volume on it is going to be fast. It's probably going to continue to be fast as well. Now, an average moving shoe is typically what you're going to find, a shoe that's selling around 5 times per month per size. And if that's plus, obviously, I would always buy these in bulk because you're going to make money on it. You just might have to wait a little bit longer than the fast moving shoe. However, since you do have to wait a little bit longer, I don't want you guys to run into a cash flow issue, meaning all your money's stuck in shoes and you can't go buy new inventory. So you want it to at least be 20%, but hopefully it's going to be around 40. Our average ROI, what I typically do is around 30 to 50%. So sometimes higher is even better. But if I'm shooting that 40%, I'm always going to be happy because that's a good amount of work for how much I'm going to get paid. Now, a slow moving shoe, 2 to 3 times per month. So it's selling about once every 2 weeks, maybe every weekish. I wouldn't buy more than 5 of these. I'd probably stick with 5. That way I know I can sell at least all 5 of them in around 30 days, hopefully. That'd be quick. Longer would be 60 days. So 30 to 60 days, I'd be happy with it. So 5 pairs isn't the end of the world there. I wouldn't buy these unless the ROI is minimum 30%. Meaning if I'm only going to make 10% off it, let's say this shoe, let's say I sold you this shoe for 10 bucks, right? And you can only sell, let's say I sold it to you for 200 bucks and you could only sell it for 220 at 10% ROI. You'd want to do that instantly. You don't want to wait 2 months to only make 20 bucks when you just invested $200. It's a lot of money for not very much, I guess, return. All right, and finally, really slow moving shoe. Nothing wrong with the really slow moving shoes. I'm going to show you can make money on them. I wouldn't go over 3 pairs unless it really, really makes sense. Unless it's a super, super cheap steal. You can't get them at a cheaper price ever. Then you might want to. Better be making at least 40%. Generally, I'm shooting for like 60% plus. If not, I'm trying to double my money on this stuff if it's really, really cheap. Typically, again, this is just the minimum I'm saying, right? So minimum means minimum. There's no maximum to this, right? Any ROI is great on that shoe. So I've shown this shoe a lot as kind of a really, really good example of a slow moving shoe that's still really profitable. About 2 years ago, I found 3 pairs of these for $63 each, I believe is what I paid, 63, 64. Anyways, you guys can see kind of what the sales are on them. And you can see the shoe doesn't sell very fast at all. And it's only sold once this year, partially because there's no other size listed. But this shoe took me, when I had 3 of them, it took me a month to sell the first one, it took me 2 months to sell the second, and then 3 months to sell the third. I was cool with waiting 3 months because I just turned $300 into $500. That's what I flipped them for. So I was cool with waiting, and you should be cool with that too, right? So that's the idea of a slow moving shoe. You can still make really good money on it. The ROI better be there. You better be really close to doubling your money if you're going to wait a month. That's just my opinion, or 2 months. But still, like, it made sense for me to buy this shoe in bulk. All the pairs that they had, there's 3 pairs, I bought them all because of the ROI I was going to make on it. And again, back to this really quick, I really want to iterate this where it says sales per size. The reason I say that is here's a golf shoe, and this, you can do this with pretty much any shoe. All the examples work. Sizes completely are different for each shoe. So I get this question all the time, Caden, what size should I buy? I don't know the answer. It's the price you're getting that shoe for. So for example, size 9.5 is super, super cheap, right? but I'm assuming the sales are gonna be pretty high. As you can see, the sales are pretty fast. So it's selling about 5 times per month. I'd say this is about an average size shoe in size 9.5. However, let's check 11.5. What's the sales on this one? Okay, this shoe turns to even a little bit of a slower one, right? And some months are a little bit higher, some months are a little bit slower, but I'd say it's about average, maybe a little slow. Let's look at 3.5, 1 sale this year. So this is a very slow moving shoe. So from the span of a few sizes, you go from an average shoe to a decently average slow shoe to a really slow shoe, right? And that's just because every size is different and every size matters when you're looking up these shoes. And I can do the same thing with probably pretty much any of these other Jordan golf colorways. Here's a size 11.5. That's a fast moving shoe in my opinion, at least average. I mean, this is fast to average for sure. And then let's check the smaller sizes, small size 4. Yeah, 1 sale. So that's what I'm telling you guys. It's so important to look up each and every size and use this because again, one shoe in certain size could be really fast and another size it could be really, really slow. Again, down here, I show some other examples on here. I kind of just did that live with you guys here. Here's some other action steps that I want you guys to try. Make sure you look at on each and every different platform because prices on StockX, Go, eBay, they're always going to be different compared to each other. So it's always good to check on the other platforms to kind of, I guess, triangulate where you want to sell that shoe for. Because again, like I said, why would you sell a shoe for $100 on StockX if you can go for $130 on Go, right? Or vice versa. You need to learn the differences of those. And again, they might even have different sales history on each platform. Finally, I talk about this all the time. Focus on price over product while sourcing. I don't really care what the shoe is. I don't really care like about this shoe. I just know it made me a bunch of money. You guys shouldn't care either. I just knew that I'm gonna make a lot of money off it. It might take a little bit, but I'm gonna make a lot of money off of it. That's the type of stuff you guys should be caring about. Don't care if you're buying Jordans or not. It really doesn't matter. I've made money off this shoe too, but I don't care. I'm gonna make money either way, and that's what you guys should be focusing on as well. So again, this is linked down below. You can click it. I just have the link there for it. And I also have the link to my cookbook down below, so you guys can go and click that. It's also free. If you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one or learning more from me, go give me a follow on Instagram. I post daily on there, tons of content, tons of reels. You guys will love it. And on top of that, if you do want to reach out to me personally, just DM me YouTube. That way I know kind of where you came from. We can talk. We can set up a one-on-one call if you want, and kind of tell you a little bit about what we do and how we help people scale. So other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and have a blessed day.